Here's your online weather briefing for Sunday, June 5th on the newly formed Tropical Depression 3. I'm Donald Jones. Let's start by taking a look at the visible satellite of newly formed Tropical Depression 3, and as you can see, the center of circulation is right about there, and all of the cloud cover associated with it is displaced off to the east, and that's due mainly to shearing going on across the Gulf of Mexico, and that shearing is expected to continue over the next day or two as Tropical Depression 3 moves north to northeastward towards Florida. Now, despite the sheared environment, Tropical Depression 3 is forecast to become a tropical storm within the next day or so, and if it does become a tropical storm, it would receive the name Colin. It would be the third tropical storm of the 2016 Atlantic hurricane season, and the first one for the Gulf of Mexico. Changing up the color scheme a bit here, this imagery shows the temperatures of the clouds in the atmosphere. The bright yellows and reds indicating colder cloud tops, which is indicative of stronger storms, again, are displaced to the east of the center. So here are the stats on newly formed Tropical Depression 3. It's currently at latitude 21.9 north, longitude 88.1 west. Maximum sustained winds are near 35 miles per hour, so just below tropical storm strength. 39 miles per hour is a minimal tropical storm, and again, the depression is forecast to become a tropical storm later on tonight or early tomorrow morning. The storm is currently moving to the north at about 8 miles per hour, and that speed is going to increase over the next 24 to 48 hours. You can see the lines in the track of the storm get further apart as we move out in time, and that's indicative of a faster moving storm. So the forward speed will increase as it moves across the Gulf of Mexico. Minimum central pressure is currently 1,005 millibars, and that'll probably drop a bit further as the storm begins to intensify and potentially becomes a tropical storm. Regardless of any further tropical development, though, the storm is forecast to make landfall along the Big Bend of Florida, somewhere east of Tallahassee, on Monday afternoon. As a result, tropical storm warnings have been posted for the Gulf Coast of Florida from Indian Pass to Englewood, and tropical storm warnings mean that tropical storm conditions are expected somewhere within the warning within 36 hours, and you can see that outlined there in the blue on the west coast of Florida. As with most weak tropical systems, this storm is going to be more of a rainmaker than anything else. The depression is forecast to produce rainfall amounts of anywhere between 3 and 5 inches along parts of the west coast of Florida, with up to 6 inches possible. There will be a small storm surge associated with the storm of about 1 to 3 feet, and that'll be highly dependent on just how strong the storm is as it makes landfall. But as you can see here, it'll be absolutely no threat to our area in southwest Louisiana and southeast Texas. Taking a look back closer to home, we're finally getting out of the rain-soaked pattern we've been in for the last several days, and we can actually partially thank the tropical depression for that, as it's going to be pulling down some drier air from the north to kind of dry us out. The bad news is that with that drier air comes some much warmer temperatures, and we're going to be in the lower 90s for most of the week this week, although it will remain dry. And yes, there will be weather on Saturday. Just ignore that NA on the Saturday in the graphic there. The graphic just didn't update in time for this briefing. There will, in fact, still be weather on Saturday. So to summarize, Tropical Depression 3 has formed along the northern tip of the Yucatan Peninsula and is forecast to become Tropical Storm Colin later on tonight or perhaps Monday morning. The storm is going to move to the northeast, bringing heavy rainfall and small storm surge to portions of the northern and central Florida coastlines over the next couple of days, and of course it is no threat to southeast Texas or southwest Louisiana. For additional weather information for southwest Louisiana or southeastern Texas, visit our webpage at weather.gov/Lake Charles or our Facebook or Twitter pages.